And we are live.
Woo!
Welcome, folks, to the first episode of Kindness Calls, a podcast founded on how kindness is becoming contagious at George Mason and beyond. My name is Gretchen Hendricks. I'm a professor in the Costello College of Business, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Adam Miller. I am a student in the Costello College of Business and Honors College here at George Mason University. And frankly, I am thrilled that this is happening. After months and months of planning, we get to kick off this show on World Kindness Day. What an amazing, amazing experience.
Absolutely, Adam. It seems like this show has been a long time coming.
Yes. Oh, my
right?
Lord. Yeah.
You and I have literally been talking about the topic of kindness for like a year and a half.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, just to start getting folks a little bit into why we love kindness so much and want to keep spreading it on the Mason community, I'm thinking back to you as a freshman in my Business 103 class.
Oh, man.
Last fall
Yes.
fall of 2024.
Yes.
And I'm curious, when I said kindness was going to be a part of our course curriculum, what did you think?
Oh, boy. I just, it was something that I didn't expect in a business class. But really quickly, I realized just how important the element of kindness was to not only the world of business, but just being a citizen. So it went from, oh, great, here's this kindness activity that I have to do for this class at 3 o'clock in the other side of campus on Monday, to my favorite part of my freshman year. Like, it was truly an amazing experience, and you opened my eyes to a lot of it. You got me involved with Mason Chooses Kindness. I definitely would not be hosting this show if it was not for you getting me involved with kindness.
Well, Adam, you kept showing up everywhere I went. So, it just seemed to make sense, right?
Yep.
I mean, Mason Chooses Kindness, you're on the steering committee now, which I'm also on the steering committee. And I was grateful to see your face show up in our first meeting of the semester.
Yep.
And then last spring, when we ran into each other at Giant.
Just total coincidence, ran into each other at Giant. It was the funniest moment.
Totally. And I was teeing up all those special projects for the Humanitarian Happy Hour.
Yes.
Projects in my Bus 103 class, or Bus 303 class, and then you ended up attending 3 out of 4 of those events.
And the only one I couldn't attend is because I was serving as an official for another event, but that one had puppies, so that one made me very sad I couldn't attend.
I know, the puppies. Well, maybe we'll hear more about the puppies later.
I hope so.
Well, I'm excited that we are doing this on World Kindness Day. I think kindness has been hopefully being celebrated across campus today, and we're bringing a little bit more to the table with this new podcast.
Yeah.
Just a little history on World Kindness Day. It started back in 1998. It is celebrated internationally, believe it or not. And obviously, the goal is really just to spread positivity and encourage people to conduct small acts of kindness. Yes. So thinking back, do you remember what act of kindness you conducted for the Bus 103 class assignment?
Man, if you had told me that you were gonna quiz me on that, I would have definitely looked through my files. I don't. I remember there were a lot that I was considering, but it put me on the spot. I do not remember. Yeah.
Isn't that the job of a teacher?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and you're very good at it.
You're probably going to remember it at some point.
I almost certainly will.
So let's revisit if you do.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to say a little bit about how I got involved with Mason Chooses Kindness, because I have been involved with it for over 4 years now. So believe it or not, the first time I heard of Mason Chooses Kindness, it was in a Provost newsletter that came out in 2021, and it was an article about, drumroll, World Kindness Day.
What?
Yes, so literally 4 years ago. And my colleagues, several colleagues and I had read the article, and we were like, this is wonderful, we need to get involved. And so that's what we did. We reached out to folks at Mason Chooses Kindness, and we're going to learn more about that later.
Awesome.
And we became members of the steering committee.
Yes.
And really back 4 years ago, MCK was just sort of getting its feet underneath itself here on campus.
No, it's a pretty young program, all things considered, for how long George Mason has been around.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. So being a part of that steering committee, we saw so many opportunities to really make an impact in Costello College of Business, as well as in our classrooms, by bringing kindness towards our curriculum. And that's what I have been doing ever since.
Yes, and you've done it very, very well, I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So basically, after we joined the steering committee, colleagues and I became known as the goodwill team amongst our Costello colleagues.
Yes.
And we intentionally were bringing kindness corners, celebrating moments of, rewarding people for moments of kindness within the school, and just really trying to spread that goodwill amongst folks within our organization. So much so that it became really an official part of our strategic priorities in Costello, which is pretty cool.
Costello Kind, yeah.
Yeah, and our Dean Vinze, is totally on board and has been supporting it. So it's really become something that has, been a part of the fabric of Costello, which is awesome.
Yep.
So as a student, how do you hear about Costello and kindness just kind of out on the street? Out on the street of the campus?
That's sort of the thing, is you don't really hear about it too much, especially with the Costello College of Business's agreement with Massachusetts Kindness, or their collaboration. You don't hear about it a lot. You need to go out and find it, which is part of why we wanted to do this show. Instead of, having students come and find it, let's bring it to the students. Let's get them involved with this initiative. So hopefully this spurs more and more CCB students are able to learn about the kindness initiatives that we have going on. But for the time being, you don't hear about it much. So it's people like you who are the boots on the ground, making sure that people are able to get involved and hear about it more. No, it's great.
Great. Exciting stuff, though, is that colleagues and I, we worked on a whole Mason Chooses Kindness guidebook that is available and being shared with other departments on campus. So hoping that we can start integrating it even more and more purposefully across campus outside of Costello. I also, as I have mentioned with Business 103, been purposefully putting kindness into my curriculum. Bus 103 class required to do acts of kindness and then reflect on them. And it's really their choice. They can choose whatever they want to do. And I will even accept if you want to choose to treat yourself kindly, because that is definitely a part of kindness. Right?
Self-kindness is so important.
It is.
People think of kindness as, doing something for others, but no, self-kindness is just as, if not more important, because you got to be kind to yourself.
Absolutely. And then for my Business 303 class, I have been doing more community service type projects where later we'll have a guest on to talk about the humanitarian happy hour projects from the spring.
So good.
Where we worked purposefully, again, with 4 local charities to raise awareness, volunteerism, and some pretty impressive donations.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So I think we've been working really hard to plan, and to promote this new podcast.
Yes.
But I took a moment on the way in and my drive in today to make sure that I personally was reflecting on, the purpose of this podcast for me. So, I was thinking to myself, it's been a long time coming, but also just a long time personally for me, because I was remembering when I was a child, I used to make my friends David and Caroline play DJ. So I guess I finally made it to the big time by being on this radio show today. So here we go. I think we're teeing up our first guest here soon.
I think so,
We've got a great lineup of folks. One of the people that we absolutely had to start the show with was one of the people who has started Mason Chooses Kindness is Nance Lucas.
Yes.
You cannot talk about kindness on George Mason's campus without Nance. So,
absolutely.
Yes. And have you met Nance?
I've not met Nance, so this will be a great first meeting.
It is. And then, so obviously kindness is under the umbrella of well-being. And Nance is the executive director for the Center for the Advancement of Well-Being.
Okay.
So she's the perfect person to kick off our guest today.
I think so. I cannot think of a better person to kick it off.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, great.
All right, is she on the line?
Hopefully. She is calling in.
All right.
Yep, we're ready for her.
All right.
Hi, Nance. Are you with us?
Hi, Gretchen. Good to be with you.
Great, Nance. Thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, and my pleasure, and thank you for inviting me, and happy World Kindness Day to you both.
Yes, happy World Kindness Day to you as well.
Have you been on campus today seeing kindness in action?
Well, I see kindness in action every day at George Mason University.
Nice. I like that.
I like that answer a
Yes.
lot.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nance. So we were hoping you could fill folks in a bit on the history of Mason Chooses Kindness. How did it all begin? What's the story?
Well, in late 2019, we were kind of looking around and seeing all of the initiatives embedded at academic units, university life, all different kinds of departments and programs connected to well-being. And I thought for a moment and thought, we need to find a way to connect these initiatives together, or find some glue that could kind of help others make connection to well-being and all the things that were happening at Mason. Because our vision is to have well-being live in the DNA of the university. So I gathered a couple of my colleagues who are well-being ambassadors, so to speak, and we thought, what can we do to bring this all together? And we came up with the idea of having an academic theme connected to well-being, and we decided we'd start with kindness. And then each year we would change the theme. So we decided, okay, year one, we're going to make it be kindness. And so little did we know that COVID was right around the corner. So we announced this and started it in early 2020, and we found ourselves building Mason Chooses Kindness kind of on the plane as it was taking flight during COVID, and it was challenging, and it was exhilarating, and it was wonderful to see that we found a theme of kindness when the world needed it the most.
Absolutely.
And so we stuck with that theme in 2020. That was our year theme. And there was so much resonance, and especially from our students, we decided to keep it going after the first year. And so that's how we got started.
Excellent. And I think I joined maybe about a year in. I think Costello started getting involved with some of my colleagues on the steering committee. And really, I think, so much progress was made very quickly in getting MCK initiatives out across campus. Can you share with folks a little bit about really what your mission is? I mean, obviously spreading kindness, but how are we doing that in purposeful ways?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our mission is to create and sustain a kindness revolution on campus. And our vision is, as Mason patriots, we change the world one small act of kindness at a time. And so that was the spirit in which we started this revolution of kindness. And we've been able to really keep it up and find ways for everyone to participate, whether they were helping to sponsor events or they were nominated as a Mason Kindness Ambassador because of their spreading kindness to others.
Awesome.
Yeah.
From the strategic side, what are some of the next steps, priorities for MCK? I mentioned a little bit earlier, you've partnered pretty significantly with Costello, but
Yes.
spreading the word to more departments. Can you fill folks in on kind of what's going on to, spread into more purposely a strategic priority for other departments on campus?
Well, I think the Costello School of Business, College of Business, really set that stage well in having a unit-wide initiative on kindness in the College of Business. And you, Gretchen, were a major leader of making that happen. And that's a great model for other academic colleges and units and non-academic units to follow. You created a wonderful resource book, playbook, so to speak, for others to do it. So we want to also kind of always be keeping what we're doing fresh around Mason Chooses Kindness and do new things. And having you do the radio show is a great example of that. And Mason Chooses Kindness committee members are doing other kinds of new things as well, along with some of our signature kindness programs like celebrating World Kindness Day, Mason Intentional Kindness Day in February, and the Mason Kindness Ambassadors.
Yeah, no, those are all really amazing, and MCK has had so many wonderful moments throughout its time on existing. So, I guess my question for you, Nance, is like, of all of those moments or stories, what makes you the proudest to see how far MCK has come and what we have achieved with this incredible mission on campus?
There's so many, Adam. It's hard to pick one, but I'm going to give you a few quick ones. Right. Our first ambassador reception a couple of years ago, President Washington spoke and gave a welcome, and a comment that he said that stood out to many of us is, only at George Mason University would we celebrate kindness by recognizing others who do it in a formal way. And that really stood out to me. Like, I'm not sure how this effort would transpire in other campuses, but it is alive and doing well here. And two other things I want to mention that stand out to me. Each year, the Mason Life students had a tradition around World Kindness Day where they would decorate the George. And they took so much pride in doing that, and they would talk to people walking by about kindness and give out MCK stickers, and they really were making it happen. They were paying it forward. And a student came by, and a Mason Life student gave a MCK sticker, and she said to the Mason Life student, "You just made my day by giving me this kindness sticker because I've been having a rough one."
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. And then the last story I'll say that made me proud, too, is I sat in and listened to a group of students earlier this week that Dr. Al Flertes convened, and these are Mason Kindness Ambassador students. And I listened to what this meant to them, and a couple of the students talked about the importance of how Mason Chooses Kindness is creating a community for them. They want to be in connection with other students who share the same kind of passion and vision for George Mason University. They want to spread kindness, and they want to be affiliated with other students who come from that same kind of mindset. And so what we're doing here at Mason is, while we're acknowledging kindness, we're also creating communities for people who want to be engaged with one another.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's heartwarming,
Phenomenal.
Right? Oh, I love it. Nothing better than when you're having a bad day, right? And somebody does something
Yes.
nice for you.
Oh.
It really just changes everything.
Just turns your whole day around. It's
Absolutely.
perfect.
Well, we're going to wrap up with our last question because we do have some live kindness ambassadors with us today. So, Nance, can you just give folks a rundown of what the Kindness Ambassador Program is?
Sure. When we first created it, and it's still true today, we wanted this to be positioned as a program that would recognize individuals, our students, faculty, staff, and alumni, who embody kindness and how they share it with others. Yeah. And so it gives us great joy each year in celebrating World Kindness Day and seeing how proud our ambassadors are and how humble they are and surprised when they receive this nomination.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this year we have a record number of nominations, and which is a good thing. And our staff at the center get nervous around how are we going to find a room big enough to hold the ambassador reception.
What an incredible
and my
problem.
response to them is, let's go to Eagle Bank Arena.
Wow.
Ooh.
We want it to be that big, right, in the
Yeah.
future.
Nance, I love that.
Yep.
I'm showing up. Definitely. Let's keep spreading this.
I know you will,
spreading
my
the
friend.
yeah, I'll be
Yep.
there with bells on.
Absolutely.
Well, Nance, thank you so much for taking time to call in and really get us started on this podcast today. We want to thank you for all the efforts that you've put in to spreading kindness in the Mason community. Have a great rest of your World Kindness Day.
Thank you, and thank you both for having me on.
Take care, Nance.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a wonderful, wonderful way to start this, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And no better way to continue on than to have a live student kindness ambassador to talk to.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Zaina. Zaina, why don't you introduce yourself, tell folks what you're studying here at George Mason.
Yeah, hello. So my name is Zaina Khalifa. I am a senior here at Mason studying graphic design. And, I just really love being here. For, the past 4 years, I didn't even know that Kindness Ambassador was a thing or that we had Mason Chooses Kindness.
Excellent. So
great.
we're going to have to start with the first question. Why do you think you were nominated to be a kindness ambassador? Because you can't just elect to be one. Someone has to nominate you. And because I have nominated several folks, I understand, right, the process. And really, they ask you questions like, about people's character and examples of how they embody kindness. So why do you think you were nominated and are here in front of us today?
That's such an amazing question. Kindness may be a noun, but to me it's a verb. It's an action. You're doing an act of kindness. And I was always taught from a very young age that you are who you really are when no one else is looking.
Yes.
And I really take that in. Like every single day, I'm making sure that if it's just a simple smile or a compliment to someone or just a small act of service, you don't really think about it sometimes, but it's those little things that really stick with people. And so I believe that I was nominated because some people noticed that and they really, they felt it in their hearts that this person changed my day. They changed my year, And I think that's something so beautiful. I mean, people really do not realize that even just saying hello or checking up on someone can literally make a huge difference in their lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I love that. I love talking about it. I also love the enthusiasm you're bringing off the rip. It's awesome. Just in building on like the doing part of it, what do you tend to do for your acts of kindness to make people's day better? You talk about it a lot. I really want to know what do you do? Because I can tell you've got that great personality to make people happy.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. Oh my goodness. Well, I think that I love doing a lot of little things. For instance, I'm in a conservation behavior class and every once in a while I'll design a sticker for them and give it to them without them knowing, right? And it's those little things where they're like, oh, someone thought of me. We're not just classmates that pass each other by. She really took the time to make something for me. But one of my favorite things to do is I love complimenting random people. I'm very outgoing, very talkative. My parents have an ongoing joke where they're like, you started talking at the age of 1 and you never stopped. And you know what? I say that proudly. I genuinely think that just stopping someone and saying, I love your smile. I love your outfit. You look amazing. You are amazing. It makes such a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I just got word from our producers that we have another one of our kindness ambassadors on the phone. So we're going to bring them in real quick if that's all right.
Awesome. Of course it is.
All right, let's bring them on. All right.
Hi, welcome. Is this Mayan?
Yes, this is she.
Hi, how are
Mayan.
you today?
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course. How are you guys?
Good. Happy World Kindness Day.
Yay. Yeah, thank you to you too.
So we're going to catch you up a bit. We've been chatting with Zaina, another kindness ambassador, and grilling her a little bit about her
Hey, girl.
her personal mantra for spreading kindness. But I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked her to kind of kick off a conversation with you. Why do you think folks nominated you to be a kindness ambassador?
Well, first of all, it is definitely an honor It's great to be appreciated and seen, and somewhat inspiring to people. I think I was nominated because kindness is genuinely something I live by. I always try to make people feel noticed and appreciated, even small things, like saying, "You look good today," or "I hope you have a beautiful day." Those moments matter. And my faith plays a huge part in that for sure. Because in Islam, even a smile is charity.
Yeah.
And that's something I carry with me. I think people can feel when kindness is real. And that's why I try to bring it to everything I do.
Good.
Awesome.
I like that answer a lot.
Adam had a second question for
Yes.
Zaina and hit mine with it as well.
So, Mayan, I'll hit you with the same question I just asked. So, how do you personally like to spread kindness? You know, how do you like to make people's day better? What is it that you do that you feel embodies what you are as a kindness ambassador?
I'm definitely a very social person. I spread kindness through like connection and energy. I love making people feel seen, and I'm the type to compliment anyone passing or reach out when someone is struggling or I sense that they are struggling.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's definitely the small things. They create warmth. And I think being kind is really about being present and showing people that they matter. It doesn't always need to be words, of course. Maybe just listening or offering comfort when someone needs it most.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
That's really amazing. Yeah.
So many great moments happening right now.
There really is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm going to ping back to Zaina real quick with our next question. What kindness acts have you witnessed recently on the Mason campus, or maybe led?
Ooh, well, that is a great question. You know, I think that Mason has one of the kindest communities I've personally seen. And one moment that actually stuck with me was the other day I was walking into the JC, and I noticed someone was in line trying to buy a snack from the vending machine upstairs. And you could tell that, you know, something wasn't working out, maybe their card was declining, maybe something was happening, but a stranger just comes in, puts in their dollar, and gets this person a snack. And they didn't exchange any words. They just did that and left. And it was kind of like it stuck with me because I was thinking about that idea. Like, you know, I believe that everyone is born kind. I don't think that there is anyone out here that is not capable of kindness. I think the world is harsh and hostile, and there's often things that will bring you down. But I believe that a small act of kindness can spark a big change. And it was that moment when I realized, like, just witnessing that act made me want to do something nice. So it felt so good that, like, okay, you can do something kind, and maybe you're not going to get personally rewarded, because I don't believe that you should have to always get some sort of reward out of this. I believe that the reward itself is just making someone happy and making the world a better place.
Yeah. I love that answer a lot.
Move it. All our papers are here.
Yeah. Sorry, quick discussion with our producers, but for Mayan, I want to throw that same question right at you real quick. Like, what kinds of acts have you witnessed recently that just make you continue to believe in the kindness community?
To start, I would love to say that I love Mason so much, and Mason's community, and how diverse we are.
Yes.
Whether that's personalities or cultures and countries. I've noticed so many like quiet acts of kindness on campus, which can mean the most. Maybe students holding doors for each other, or helping each other with notes in class, or seeing somebody sit alone and going and checking up on them. Those simple things like really create a culture of care, and I think that's what stands out the most. That it isn't planned or big; it's just like genuine. People genuinely like to do this, and it comes to them naturally, which is kind of hard to find nowadays. But Mason definitely has the kind of energy where people look out for one another, and that's what I love most. It feels like a community built on empathy. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I full-heartedly agree with you, and I love that. I love both of y'all's answers. That was really amazing. We are wrapping up our time with you two, so we want to just end it off with one quick question for both of y'all. What do you guys believe are the benefits of practicing kindness on a regular basis?
You know, I believe that the biggest benefit is that you are putting out what you want to see in the world. You know, I know that a lot of people may judge me just by looking at me. You know, I wear a hijab, I'm Palestinian, and I know that that might not, you know, give people a great impression right off the bat because you don't know how everyone's raised. But I believe that instead of responding to hate with more hate, you respond with love, you respond with kindness, and maybe that one little seed will plant a whole garden.
Yes.
Fantastic. Mayan, you want to jump in?
Yeah. I mean, kindness changes the atmosphere around you. It changes you. When you lead with compassion, you make people feel safe and valued. And that energy spreads. Anybody around you will receive the same energy and give. Spiritually, it's grounding for me. Islam teaches that the best people are those who bring benefit to others. And that's something I definitely live by. Practicing kindness brings peace, both to others and to your own heart. And it connects us and reminds us that we all have the power to make life softer for one another, especially when you're in college. I think everybody needs that.
Yes, absolutely. I want to thank both of you guys for coming on today, talking about kindness, and thank you guys so much for what you both do as kindness ambassadors. It really means the most. So once again, thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so much
thank
for
you.
having me.
Of course.
Thank
Take
you
care.
for
We'll
having
see you
us.
around campus practicing kindness.
Yep.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
All right.
Have an amazing day.
You too. Oh man, that was just phenomenal, wasn't it?
I mean, they blew my mind.
They really did.
really
That was
Absolutely.
great. Yeah.
So we did have another caller up at around 3 o'clock. Are we teed up with
No, not
Khalid?
yet. It
No,
doesn't look
he's not
like
in.
it yet.
Okay, well, no worries. Yet we're kind of focusing now on bringing some other student ambassadors in to talk about other ways kindness is spreading on our college campus. Do we have Wes ready to
believe-
join us?
No, I guess not. I'm trying to see if we can move up one of our guests. But in
Yeah,
the
is
meantime,
then Amelia here.
yeah, Amelia is here, Wes is here. Let's see if we can get one of them in real quick.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask a quick question for you, Professor
Sure.
Hendricks. What was the grade I got on my kindness thing?
Oh, Adam, you know you got an A
Well,
in
you
my
would-
class.
I know I got an A in your class. What did I get on the kindness thing? You wanted to put me on the spot
You
with
know,
the kindness.
it's worth actually what, 5-ish points, I
Roughly,
think.
yeah.
And you know me, I'm a simple grader with my points.
Yes.
So, I just go roll right at 100. I've never really understood like making up a weird number of points for a class. But so 5 points is actually pretty significant because if you don't do my act of kindness, then you're at a lower A. But if people do it, they get the full points, basically.
Yeah.
Because to me, they're taking the time to show kindness to someone. And, to be honest, the reflection portion of it, I get longer responses from students than I anticipate getting sometimes. Some people will write like a whole page or a page and a half just because it was so moving to them, performing the act of kindness.
Yeah,
So,
that's great. All right, well, perfect. We've got our next guest ready to join us live, so they're going to call in. Let's take it from the top.
Great. Khalid, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Thank you for taking the time to do a quick call in today. I wanted to make sure you were included because you have some exciting news to share.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So tell
my
folks,
name
there's
is Khalid.
a new Be the Change, which you are the vice president of, is Make It a Comeback at Mason. So can you give us a quick rundown of what Be the Change is and anything we need to know about it?
Absolutely. We're a student organization that's been on campus before, but we're restarting this semester with fresh energy. Our mission is connecting students with meaningful community engagement opportunities that align with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Things such as climate action, quality education, and sustainable communities.
Exciting. Have you guys, I know you put your e-board together because Marissa, a former student of mine, reached out to me. Have you guys got anything in the works for spring that you can start promoting now, or anything on the horizon that folks can get involved with?
Of course, yeah. Currently, we are planning events and establishing partnerships for the spring. We don't have much solidified yet, but we are in the building stage. And any students that are interested in Be the Change, we encourage them to connect with us on Instagram, follow us on Mason 360, keep an eye out for upcoming events. We'll make sure that spring is jam-packed with opportunity for students to engage and give back and really learn about UN Sustainable Development Goals.
That's a great,
Amazing.
great goal.
Yeah, I know you only had a few minutes today. Thank you so much for taking the time to call in. We wanted to get the word out.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right, that was awesome. All right, so up next is the philanthropy chair of Phi Delta Theta and a very good friend of mine, Wesley Woods. Wes,
hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Wes. I'm doing great. First and foremost, thank you so much for coming on to the show, brother.
Of course.
So first, tell us how you got involved with not necessarily Phi Delta Theta, but specifically the Live Like Lou Foundation, which benefits, well, I'll let you tell it.
Yeah. Well, over the summer, one of my brothers called me up, and he was just like, hey, you want to take this position? And I've never accepted something so quickly. Genuinely, I hopped on that, and I remember running back to my family. I was on vacation, and just like excitedly telling them this opportunity that I had to help people and like genuinely make some sort of impact in these people's lives. So that's how I got involved over the summer. Just one of my friends was very, very nice to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So for those of you who aren't aware, during usually around mid-October, a lot of the Greek organizations, so fraternities and sororities, hold something called Phil Week, where we try to raise as much money for philanthropy as we can. And that was, I know that was honestly, let's just say it's super successful for the Live Like Lou Foundation. Tell us about some of those events. What was like that highlight of that week for you?
Probably the highlight for me was the Helping Hands event that we threw.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We made this banner in tribute of Live Like Lou, and people could give any amount of money to put their hand and a painted handprint on this sheet to signify their helping hand toward the fight against ALS.
Yes.
Very successful, but my favorite part about it was honestly just the people stopping by who didn't even necessarily want to donate, but did just want to learn about what we were doing and learn about the cause and learn about the disease.
Absolutely.
That was my favorite part, was just teaching people a little bit. But aside from like the philanthropy week that we got to do, we've also get to help like families directly.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite things in the world.
It's so
get
amazing.
To do. I mean, you came with me to one of them.
Yes, it was so amazing.
But we go in and we get to meet these families and we get to know them. I mean, some of them have kids. Some of them they all have struggles.
Yeah.
They're all going through one of probably the hardest points of their lives.
Yeah.
And they're gracious enough and trusting enough to let me go in and take care of them and help them in whatever way they need.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that it is really amazing, and it is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Is the best way to say. It's such a powerful thing to be able to do, to see it and help. So I would just say, like, what is your biggest takeaway from being able to do all of this, the fundraising, the helping families? What is the biggest thing that you take away in your day-to-day life?
The thing that has probably been reaffirmed for me the most is that humans in general, even in like the hardest of times, find a way to find happiness in the things around them and to seek joy in like the little tiny things that are still there, as well as like they find their support systems. And it's my favorite thing to see a group of people band together to support a single person, because there's so much love and there's so much intention there.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And just like that feeling, at least for me, is, being able to see that impact that you make on a family or on a single person. It's such a gratifying experience, and it helps me continue to go, I want to do this. Right. I'm assuming a very similar...
Absolutely. One of the most fulfilling experiences ever.
It's just such a fulfilling sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it is phenomenal. So we've mentioned Live Like Lou a couple of times, and like we mentioned ALS a little bit, but specifically, what does the Live Like Lou Foundation do? What do they do after we get those funds?
So they give it toward research. So they are
nice.
one of the top organizations in researching against the fight against ALS. Like they partnered with Vanderbilt and they found 2 possible genetic indicators for this disease, which right now, if you don't know anything about it, it is the only way to diagnose it is process of elimination, and it is 100% fatal. It is a horrible disease, and so these funds go toward fighting against it in that sense, but also in supporting families directly, both through volunteer work as well as grants and like funds for them to improve their quality of lives. As well as scholarships to the children of these families.
That's amazing.
Right? They go above and beyond to support these families as much as they can.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really appreciate your time so far. We got one more question for you, and
right.
This is built around, a lot of what we do. But, what do you think others on campus can do to create that sort of impact that you've made with, the Live Like Lou Foundation, Phi Delta Theta? What can people do to create a similar sort of impact, whether that be for ALS or for something else? What do you think is the best route for that?
Whatever you have connection toward, if you have something that has impacted you directly or a friend directly, you can volunteer for that. Obviously, that's one of the most underappreciated fields is volunteer work. People don't put enough attention into how much work that is. But also, just look around. Anyone around you needs help at any moment. If you keep your eyes open, you will see a person who is in need of a little bit of support. A person walking across the street who's struggling to carry their stuff, or an older person who can't open the door because it's too hard, or just generally keep your eyes open because there's something going on that you might be missing, and that's a chance for you to help them.
I love it. I love that answer. Before we let you go, is there anywhere we can follow up and see the impact that we're doing? Anywhere to, monitor the progress that not only we do here, but nationally with the Live Like Lou Foundation? Is there anywhere to follow along?
Check out the Live Like Lou website, as well as, follow along on our Instagram, FiDeltGMU. We post a lot of things. We're going to be posting more about our philanthropy and our work with ALS coming up. But yeah, keep a lookout for that.
Awesome. Wes, thank you so much for taking the time. It has been amazing. And yeah, have an incredible rest of your day. Thank you, brother.
Too.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, that was amazing. That was so good to hear someone talk about that.
It's great. And I love that he brought up really the importance of volunteering.
Yeah.
Getting involved in the community, and volunteering is such a rewarding way to give back. So.
And speaking of someone deeply invested in the community, volunteering, giving back, joining the show now, my first friend at George Mason, in fact, Amelia Prado. Amelia, how are you doing this wonderful Thursday?
I'm doing really good. How are y'all?
We're doing great.
We're great.
Thank you so much for joining the show, first and foremost.
Thank you.
So we have you here listed as, being a part of Best Buddies, but you do so much more than just Best Buddies. So talk to us about all that you do to spread kindness around George Mason.
Sure. So I'd say first and foremost, I'm involved with Best Buddies. Best Buddies is a club about making friends between people with intellectual disabilities and people without intellectual disabilities, which I think is such an important thing to be doing, creating those connections and creating those friendships. I'm also a teacher at Mason Life. So Mason Life is an IPSE, which stands for an Inclusive Post-Secondary Education for adults with disabilities. So it's a separate program for adults with disabilities who want the college experience. So I teach leisure skills and employment skills. Yeah. And I'm also involved with ARMP, which is the Afghan Refugee Mentorship Program, where we go over to Arlington and tutor Afghan refugee children in English.
That's wow.
Yeah, how do you find the time to do all of these things? I'm like, wow, I'm so impressed.
Yes.
My degree is easy.
I highly doubt that. I'm sure you're excelling at that as well.
Yeah, but no, folks, I was not kidding when I say someone that is deeply connected with the community. Amelia, that's who it is. She is amazing and invested in so much. So, tell us about one event or program that really opened your eyes, that you were involved with deeply, and
Sure.
that was such a highlight.
I'd like to talk about the Best Buddies match party.
Go for
Adam
it.
was
I was
actually
there.
there for
I was, in
that.
fact.
I definitely forced Adam to do all these many things with me.
It's not a hard fight.
Including Best Buddies. And the match party is kind of our big event for the year, where we announce our matches between people with intellectual disabilities and people without intellectual disabilities.
Yeah.
So I helped plan it. We made sure to make, it's just the people who are there, whether they're the people without intellectual disabilities or the people with, they're all there because they're so dedicated and happy to be there. Yeah. So it's just such a happy event. There's so much kindness going around. Just seeing people's face light up, even if they don't know the person that they're being matched with, as soon as they hear that they even have a match, their face just lights up and they get so happy. It's really an incredible event. Seeing people get to know each other for the first time, it's really fun. We had a really great time this year.
It was phenomenal. I actually met with my buddy last night. Me and Noah grabbed
did
dinner.
you?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we're meeting together again a week from today. Yeah.
That's great. I just saw my buddy yesterday. His thing is airports. That's all we talked about was airports.
Wow. I'm curious if you could just expand how many matches are made.
We definitely would love to see more people without intellectual disabilities come out to Best Buddies. We have a limited amount of matches because we have a limited amount of people. We call them peer buddies, the people without intellectual disabilities. We have a limited amount of peer buddies. So I think right now we have about 8 or 10 matches.
Folks, you just heard that Amelia call for folks to come out
Yes.
and help.
Yes, please come out to
We've
Best
got a wonderful
Buddies.
population here in our community, and we, it's a perfect thing.
It
It's
is.
built in.
As someone who comes out to those and not in any leadership role, it is such a good time. It is the highlight of my week when I go and do it. It is so much fun. The people are so nice. Everyone is dedicated to be there and is put on incredibly well by not only Olivia and Sophie, but of course, Amelia, she really brings the energy to those events. She was the first person to sing at karaoke on Monday.
Oh, yeah. I was the first person.
That was a great time.
And what song did you tackle? We have to know.
I sang Only Prettier by Miranda Lambert because I am a country girl.
There you go. Hey,
Amen.
you got to own it.
Yep. Yeah. And so what do you feel has been sort of the biggest takeaway for you from doing these events?
Oh, man. Just, you can do so much. Everyone can do so much.
Right.
All you have to do is put in a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, and you can make a huge difference. There's so much need out there that if you can commit once a week, if you can commit every other week, you can make a really big change.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort to make that happen, but it's that combined effort where you really see the progress being made. And it is such a phenomenal thing to do. I remember you basically cornered me and said, you are coming to Best Buddies this week. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. But it is truly just such a highlight for me. And I really do love it. So in your, numerous experiences of helping people, I have no idea how you find the time for it. I really don't. I really admire it. But what do you think people can do to spread more goodwill and happiness and positive change around campus?
Around campus, I think if you ever walk by Krug Hall, which is where all the Mason Life students are, say hi. They always hang out around there. They're all super nice. I can think of one or two who are kind of nonchalant and might not say hi, but everyone is super nice. They're all willing to say hi, and if you ever see someone who looks a little lost at an event, something like that, make sure you try and include them because you never know what's going on. They could be a program student. They could be someone who just needs a little more support that day.
Yeah, no, I love that answer. That is great. Amelia, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Where can we catch up? Where can we see the progress that's being made for you guys? Whether it be Best Buddy, Mason Life, the Afghan refugees. Where can we find y'all?
Best Buddies, follow us on Instagram. I don't know our Instagram handle. If you search Best Buddies GMU, you'll find us.
Keywords.
If you search ARMP or Nova Raft on Instagram, you can find more information about the Afghan refugee mentoring. And as for Mason Life, I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Just hang out around Krug.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Amelia, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. It has been wonderful to have you. I'm so glad you said yes when I asked you to come on.
Of course, I mean, you do so much for me. Thank you.
And give back moment.
No, yeah, but truly, thank you so much. and
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day. I'm sure we're going to catch up
Thank
after
you.
the
You
show.
too.
Yep. God, this has been amazing so far.
It has.
We-
It has. I'm excited. So, wrapping up our show,
got our
I
last
get to
group of
have
guests.
a proud teacher moment here. Two of my former Business 303 students are joining us now. And yep, please pull up a chair. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Do you miss me?
Yes, I miss Business 303.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you both coming in. I get more and more proud of the project that we did in the spring and the impact that it made and the doors that it opened. So I'm going to let you both introduce yourselves first. So Sabrina, why don't you start?
Okay, so I'm Sabrina. I'm a junior at GMU, and my major is Business Management Information Systems and Law.
And hello, everybody. My name is Yusha. My major is in finance. I am a senior here at Mason, and I graduate next semester.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So to lay the foundation a bit for what we're about to talk about, first week of class, I threw an idea for a special project out at everybody and let them vote on it. The idea was to host what I called humanitarian happy hours. So the goal was to identify 4 local charities, and we stuck pretty much in our Fairfax, community, 1 out of Arlington, but find identified charities that we could partner with to raise awareness, volunteerism, another theme of the day, right? And donations, right? And so we worked tirelessly for weeks to prepare to host 4 events at the end of the semester that were happy hour events, where we invited folks from the Mason community and beyond to come and enjoy themselves, network, and then, of course, support the charity that was identified. So, Sabrina, why don't you tell what organization you worked with and why your team chose it?
Yeah, so for the humanitarian happy hour, we worked with Dulles South Soup Kitchen. The reason why we chose them is we really liked what they stand for. They constantly gave back to the community in very easy, accessible ways for people who don't have access to food or have a limited income. So 2 things that Dulles South Soup Kitchen does is they do food drives. They could do it through the car or in person. And then they also have meals prepared that you could pick up, which I thought was really nice. So they have like little menus, weekly menus. It could be like, I don't know, pasta dishes. They're also very friendly towards like allergies and like dietary restrictions. So there's vegetarian options as well. And yeah, so I really liked their mission statement and how accessible it was for people to have access to food and basic resources in a very easy, accessible way.
Very nice.
Great. Yeah, and the executive director was really wonderful to work with.
She was amazing.
She was the first person I reached out to, and I felt like she jumped through the phone.
Did. She was really
and she said, I don't know why we're not doing this all the time. And I said, whoa, let's try it once and see how it goes, right? And I think Adam's trying to talk me into doing it again in the spring.
Do it again in the spring.
So we'll talk about that more in
you
a little
will make
while.
it happen.
Yeah, okay.
I will make sure it happens.
Amelia and I are never going to get any rest, right? Yeah. So you should tell us what organization your team worked with and why you guys chose it.
So the organization that my team worked with, my group worked with, was the Lucky Dog Animal Shelter. And that was a lot of fun to be a part of. I feel like it gave me very valuable experiences for me personally, and I feel like it was very good to give back, especially because it was just such a good thing that we were doing. And who doesn't love dogs?
Right.
To be honest, like Let's be so honest. So we brought it over to them over to Velocity Wings. We had plenty of people turn out. I was part of the marketing and just passing out flyers, just getting people to know about the whole event. And I was so happy with the turnout. I was so happy with the fundraising that we were able to do. And it was just good vibes all around. A great time. There was great food, great people. We had activities. We were throwing. Forgot the name of the game, but it was like sand bags.
Yeah, cornhole, they call it.
Cornhole,
Yeah.
yes, that's what it is. And it was just a great time, and it just felt so good that we were having a good time giving back to the community. And it was just wonderful because, especially as far as I know, other Business 303 classes did not do things like this, unlike in Professor Hendricks' class. So the fact that we were one of the first, or the first, to have the opportunity to do so was just wonderful, and I was greatly appreciative of the opportunity to do so. And it was so much more different than the standard LinkedIn learning modules and giving a presentation. Like, sure, that's a lot of fun, but I'd say this is a lot more fun. So I'm very happy to have been a part of that, and it was just a wonderful experience all around.
Wonderful. Now, just to be clear, we did cover LinkedIn as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
we did.
that's
Yes,
loud,
we
and
did.
yeah. I'm curious because teamwork is always something that George Mason students we do. But then, can be difficult to navigate. Did either of you see kindness play a role in your teams during all of the, planning and marketing and promotion and even hosting? Did you see any acts of kindness happening in your teams, on the spot, kind of delivering this project?
Yeah, of course. I can answer first. Yeah, definitely. I saw kindness with my group, with the charity I worked for. I feel like, because with the project, me and this other girl kind of fell into the leader position, and I feel like you really have to approach everybody in the group with kindness. Always give them, the benefit of the doubt. Always be respectful. Always make sure their ideas are heard. So when me and the other girl, her name's Tegan, we created that environment where everyone's ideas were heard. So yes, we confirmed the charity, but we had so many ideas of how to handle the actual event. Did we want games? Did we want a raffle? Everyone had a bunch of different ideas, and I feel like what we did was we made sure everyone had a safe space to approach their ideas, because there were differences of ideas and opinions. It happens with any group project. But when you approach it in a kind way, making sure that their opinions and ideas are heard and valid, and literally each person had a contribution to it, I feel like it definitely made the event that much better. So we had a raffle, we had a lot of good donations. Everyone was super social there, and I feel like the turnout would not have been like that if how we approached the group and how our group handled a bunch of different things in a very kind way. And then also with the charity, the people that I worked with the charity, they were super kind, super responsive, super engaging, and that just made what we were doing even more fulfilling, because you're working with kind people who actually have a passion for the main goal, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to give them a shout out, Sabrina's team with Dulles South Soup Kitchen, you guys raised $960 for your charity. Super impressive.
That's impressive. It's really great.
Yes. And Yusha with Lucky Dogs, not only were there 4 adorable puppies that everybody played with, you had over 65 folks attend your event. Super impressive. And that takes a lot of hard work to accomplish both of those. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you again for being a part of the first Humanitarian Happy Hour project. And I'm going to need you back.
Of course.
Right? Because we're going to need mentors for the
Humanitarian
spring
Happy
to help
Hour.
other folks learn and be as successful as the two of you.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Would love to be back.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you both for
for
coming in and
Thank
taking
you
the time
so
to come in today.
much.
It's wonderful to see you.
Yeah,
It means
you
a lot to
too.
me.
Thank you
course.
so much.
Thank you for having
You're
us.
welcome.
Really appreciate the opportunity.
Take care,
Pleasure's all
guys. I'll
ours.
see you on campus.
Yes,
Sabrina
too.
and I see each other once a week
We
usually.
do.
Take care, y'all.
Same building.
Yes. Well, Adam, we did it.
We did, which
We are about to wrap up.
I can't believe it.
I
This
know.
hour has flown by.
It
but has
has.
been-
It really has.
This has
right?
been one of the most rewarding things I have done. I mean, I may only be a sophomore, but this is by far one of the best things and coolest things I've done at George Mason in my time.
I love it.
Phenomenal.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for listening
Yes.
today. It really means a lot to us. I think we've, not only have people from the Mason community, but lots of friends and family who are out there supporting us. We do have to do a special thank you to student media for giving us this platform and giving this a try. So special thank you to Catherine and Jason in student media who've been putting up with me this semester and my crazy ideas as I whirl in and out of their offices on Tuesdays. So we're signing off now. And Adam and I are bringing you a song that will hopefully motivate you to make kindness your calling.
All right. Take care, everybody.